doubles.
I'm thinking I like Luke's board better, not just for the fact that it has some access to yellow early on, but there are a lot of gaps on the left side of the board for Flindo that are almost guaranteeing some drop time.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy with just how flat his top line was. The very beginning of a board, I don't like super flat top lines because it's hard to break through, and a lot of them are doubles. And you want to take them horizontally, but you can't. Um, and Luke working with a very right heavy board right now. I think there might have been a misplay. I think he wanted to tuck something into 7 and 8 and didn't quite get it there. Um, and he's working with quite a lot of yellow on a scattered top line in three separate columns. He is done with that now. It is 16-12 in favor of Luke, who also has the timer advantage. Luke does not go for the T. You will hear from my lawyer regarding that. Um, but he is down to 5-3 taken together, and now all he needs is he is going to prioritize that one in column 8 because he's not going to have as much drop time with it. And he's about at a 131.
One thing I can see that Luke's had happen, I think, at least three times now, just in that first level, is that he misjudged a tuck. And we have seen sometimes as players, they start misjudging tucks frequently. You'll see them start avoiding them, even if it's in positions that could turn out favorably for them, just because they don't want to make that mistake again. That'll be something we'll have to watch as John gets his last blue and is out at 2 minutes even.
Hmm. And you could see from Luke, he was unhappy with a play. He did have to break a combo. Didn't really want to. Understandable, it happens. He does still have a 5 virus lead over Flindo at this moment.
Right now, the biggest issue that Luke is having is not great access to red. He's trying to get himself some now. He's opening up the ones in columns 1 and 2 and trying to get rid of some red lower down. But right now, he seems to be now it's starting to do a little bit better. But yeah, another one of those tucks that did not work properly for Luke, and you see
Yeah,
a
that
little
was
bit of a
a I will say that was a that's a high speed thing, and he didn't quite get the timing on the tuck exactly right. It's not the worst thing in the world because he can drop that blue down and it's still very useful, and he can do that with this double red, or he can decide that he wants to do it later on.
one thing you
That
did
option is
notice
still
though.
available.
One thing you did notice, though, there was a little bit of a furrowed brow on that one, almost like the number of those he's had this match is starting to get on his nerves just a little bit, which gotta be careful of that. You start getting frustrated in the match and you start making more mistakes. I can speak on experience of that one, as John just needs two more reds here and might be out of this level 9 first. There it is, he'll be out at a 336.
Yeah, Luke not far behind. He just needs these 2 reds. He's out at a 341.
And again, another one of those situations where on Flindo's side, not really easy access to yellow for the most part. With little yellow he did have, he just got rid of very quickly.
Yeah, that happens when if you really need a certain color and you don't have access to it, basically the second it comes up, you're able to use something for it and then you don't have access again. Um, he has opened up a little bit more access. Not as much to blue on the top line, but there is some underneath that he can work with. If he's a little bit creative, um, he will be able to work with that. Opens up some more. Um, so it is 20-26 in favor of uh, Flindo right now. But again, that can change at any moment.
Yeah, right now it's looking at these boards. I can see a few horizontal opportunities Flindo's going for, like that blue right there, which dropped into the yellow. The biggest issue Flindo's going to have right now is that most of his viruses are on columns 1 and 8. and that is perhaps how he's having to build up in certain areas could slow him down a little bit, but Luke is starting to find himself in the same situation. He's starting to run into just pills on the edges of his board,
Mhm.
and that's not allowing him to take advantage of this slight slowdown that Flindo has had. Though, is this one more blue will clear out that the beautiful T, and then it'll just be reds that he needs to finish off this level.
There we go. There is the T. And he is going to be out around a 5:30, 5:31. Luke, still looking for some blues. He's got his red set up and ready to go. There it goes. Just needs a couple more blue.
Another tuck that didn't go through, and you saw him shaking his head immediately on that one.
Exactly. He's going to be out at a 5:52.
Looking at these top lines, they're a little compact. There is nice little gaps here and there for some horizontals, but for the most part, at least on Luke's board, it makes more sense to take a lot of them out vertically right now, except for those yellows that he just opened up.
Yeah, I like that combo from Luke. I always like that combo. Um, if I can, I take that combo every single time. Um, which is why I'm commentating and not in round 2. But he has closed the gap a little bit. It is only a 3 virus differential between Flindo and Luke. Luke needs a lot of red.
On the flip side, though, Luke's board is much more compact with a lot of twos and threes lined up here because of pills he's put down, which means less drop time and clearing of the pills potentially faster than Flindo did. But Flindo's gotten rid of a lot of the floaty viruses that he had while I was saying that, and it's become a very close game. It's a 3 virus lead, slight advantage to Flindo here, but he's got a lot of red he needs to work on.
He does. And he's got a horizontal on top of a horizontal. So he needs reds in a specific order. There he goes. He sets all of it off. Needs still more red. He'll take this first one. Very good. And then he just needs 2 more. Luke is down to 6. And Flindo is going to be out at a 7:37.
Which Luke has passed that. So Flindo takes the first match, but it's going to be less than 10 seconds afterwards for Luke. A very close first match in this one.
Exactly. 10 seconds in a Dr. Mario speedrun of this level is nothing to sneeze at.
Get ourselves set up here for the second match of this one. The winner of this one, I just had that in front of me, will be tomorrow. Will be playing against. It looks like. Oh, my browser just closed. Thank you. You will be playing
It would
against.
be the winner of our next match after this, number 7 seed Ook the Librarian versus our 2 seed Packy 619.
Thank you so much. I need to figure why my
Mhm.
browser's been doing that so much lately. We got our 3, 2, 1, and pills, and we are getting started here. And I like both these boards. A lot of color diversity, lots of horizontal opportunities. They look pretty good to me. How about you, Laura?
Um, I liked both of them, especially at the beginning. Uh, I'm not as much of a fan of Flindo's right now just because he's most of his blue access is buried and in the corner. But a lot of that was he took out quite a number of blues very early on with a very good move.
That was, I think, 4 viruses. Flindo just took off with that double red. Always nice when you can take that many viruses
Oh,
off at once.
Luke did a very, very nice tuck, got a whole bunch off of his board all at once. So it is 12-16 advantage to Flindo, who is getting yellow rushed at the right time.
And right now, Luke needs to get a lot of red, and he needs to get it quickly. And unfortunately, the doc has other plans in mind for our not librarian over there.
Yeah, Flindo just needs um, a couple more yellows. He's going to be out at a 135. Sorry, I have a cat friend who see this go to a decider. She has jumped up to say, "Give me the crows."
Cats do like crows for some reason, I've noticed. Right now, Luke just needs some red, and that'll open up the yellows there. And of course, he gets a red yellow. He has to decide which way we best put it. And it looks like would have been better to place it the other way around. We're waiting that last one. He is out at a 206, but that has given Flindo the opportunity to take a lot of viruses off, including almost all of his yellows.
Yeah, Flindo has jumped out to an 18 virus lead at this point. Um, so and but it is still early. It is only the so that doesn't mean anything with regards to is this done. There's a very nice I think it was a drop T and then another L. Um Lovely, but doesn't really need yellow. And then gets a double yellow. Luke, however, needs a little bit more access to blue, has a lot of access to red that he's not quite getting at the moment.
And Luke had a beautiful fat log. Unfortunately, there were no viruses involved in it, but at the same time, it was a fat log, so it deserves to be at
Hmm.
least be mentioned here. As beautiful combination right here, Flindo dropping down, take that last yellow. He just needs his blue. He is out of level 9 at a 320, but Luke's only 6 viruses behind. His only real slowdown that he'll have is that blue that's underneath yellow, but it looks like he's already making preparations for that.
Yeah, he's setting up to take that horizontally. Very nicely done. This blue will help him do it. Now he just needs 2 yellows in order to join Flindo in the penultimate level of our block. He is now into level 10. Um, I like his board. I like that there's a lot of different combinations. Nothing's really what I would call either too close together or even just one color being in the same place. So I really like that about Luke's board.
I did like the fact that he saw the opportunity near the bottom of the board for the double red, and yet instead of trying to put it on a single red at the top, he slid it all the way down to the bottom for a horizontal, which is
Hmm.
something that a lot of veteran players are really good at. Take a look at not just what would work well at the top of the board, but what'll work all the way down, which really
Hmm.
helps out with combos along the way as well.
Exactly. And I like that play from Luke. He's got the yellow on top. It falls down once he takes that to exactly what he needs it to do.
I'm worried about that Luke's going to try taking those blues out horizontally. He did, in fact, symbolize that he's going to do that. Probably going to wait for is he actually going to try taking, no, he looks like he is going to go with the original plan and just check out the 2 blues on the left here. Just waiting on, looks like a red blue at this point, as John is out of level 10 at a 518. But again, Luke's only a couple seconds back at 522. 4 seconds going into the final match is nothing.
Exactly. And he's setting up, he gets the double blue that he wants. Very, very good. But he needs to get more access to red. He does open some of that up. Um, Now he needs a little bit more access to red, and again, he opens that up. That's what we want to see from our players, is making sure that they are able to get to the viruses that are on the top line. Those are the easiest. Yes, people do tucks, but they take time. So if you can get something on the top line, you can just slam it down, Packy style, then you're good to go. Flindo opening up some of that access to blue that he's been needing.
And Luke's been just very systematically building down here, keeping his board as diverse as possible, making this only a 6 virus difference right now. And a lot of Saps taking other viruses off quickly as Flindo is setting up for both horizontal and verticals with yellows. Nice fat log right there, a drop fat log to be specific.
Mhm.
Look at this one.
Another drop fat log from Flindo. You love to see it. I love those plays. I really do. Um, they really, really show how somebody is watching just everything that goes on their board, and he is gonna be out at a 707.
There wasn't even any real opportunity to breathe on that match. Beautiful drop combo, by the way, by Lucas. He is out at a 719 again, 12 seconds back. I think what it was in the last match as well. But GG to Flindo, who will be moving on to semifinal Sunday.